Well, students, good afternoon to all of you. So today is the first introductory class of the M.Ed. So guys, as you know that, there are 4 theory paper and 2 practical paper in our syllabus in semester 1, right? So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, starting 4 are the theory papers and rest of 2 are the practical papers, okay? First paper is Psychology of Learning and Development, right? And second is History and Political Economy of Education. Third is Educational Study. Fourth is Research. You can mute yourself. Audio, video you can off audio and video. Okay, guys, just listen the lecture. After finishing the lecture, we'll discuss. Okay, you just have to note it if you have a copy and pen, right? Otherwise, I'm explaining to all of you, right? So, Sister Lovely, please, switch off your audio and video, right? Just focus on this, right? So, these are the 4 theory paper, right? And 2 are practical papers. Sister Lovely, can you switch off your audio and video? Please, so there is some distractions, okay, to me. You can switch off your audio and video. Yes, thank you so much. Right. So this is your semester 1, right, guys? The first paper is Psychology of Learning and Development. Second is History and Political Economy of Education. Third is Educational Studies. Fourth is Introductions to Research Method, right? Rest 2 are of your paper, your practical paper, right? And these are the marks. Second slide talks about the marks of the paper. Psychology of Learning and Development, first paper, 70 marks theory and 30 marks of practical, right? Means each paper carries 100 marks. 100 marks is divided into theory and as well as practical, right? 70 of theory and 30 of practical. Paper 1 is same, second is same, 70 theory, 30 practical. Third is Educational Study, again 70 theory, 30 practical. The fourth theory paper, Introductions to Research Method, it is again 70 of theory and 30 of practical, right, guys? And last 2 paper, 5th and 6th paper, it is not your theory paper, it is your practical paper. Only there is a need to make a one assignment, okay, one project. I will help you, don't worry. It's a very easy one. It is only 25 marks, right? 10 of theory and 15 of practical, right? So no worry, guys. If you have a copy and pen, you can note it. If you don't have copy and pen, I will share this PPT with you after this lecture, right? Don't worry. So, what we are offering to you, okay, we as a, Wintech Institute, okay, what we are offering you, okay, you also have got a, admissions in the different colleges. First of all, congratulations to all of you. We will provide you the books and guides on each subject of M.Ed, right? Number second, we will provide you the notes and PDF of every topic of M.Ed, right, guys? Third, on every topic of a M.Ed, we will provide you the video lectures also, right? Fourth, before the final exam, right, we will take the exam preparation classes also, right? And as well as we will also provide you the solved last year paper, okay? What happens, that, in every exam of B.Ed or M.Ed, most of the time, last year paper repeats, okay? So when you learn the, last year paper, so actually, 80-90% syllabus you cover from the last year paper. And we will provide you assistance in, all the assignments, projects, thesis work, and guidance and cooperations throughout the year, okay, we will provide. Right, guys? Up now, what would be the pattern of our classes? How we will move, right, guys? So you are aware of that. Basically, we have to, discuss the 4 theory papers, right? Psychology of Learning and Development, History and Political Economy of Education, Educational Study, and Research Methods, right? So guys, what would be the pattern of our classes? First, we will cover paper 1 and paper 3. Got it? Paper 1 is the Psychology of Learning and Development. In short, we call as a psychology paper, right? Third is Educational Studies, right? Because why we are, starting these 2 papers? Because syllabus are some of the topics are interrelated, right? So paper 1 and paper 3, when we will finish, then we will start paper 2 and paper 4, right guys? So first, today I will cover the two topics, right? The first topic I will cover the education, right, of educational studies, and one topic I will cover the educational psychology of your paper 1, psychology of learning and development, right guys? So before starting the class, okay, I just want to show you our syllabus, right guys? So I know that you have got the syllabus, but you can see the syllabus also, right? So guys, this is the syllabus, M.Ed 2-year syllabus. Okay, you can see this. This is a university syllabus, Kurukshetra University syllabus of semester 1, right? This is a semester 1, right? M.Ed 2-year syllabus, semester 1, psychology of learning and development. This is your paper 1, 100 marks, 70 external and 30 internal. I have explained you through the PPT also. This is our second paper. This is our third paper. This is our fourth paper, right? And fifth paper, communication skills and expository and self-development, is your practical paper, right guys? So what is inside the syllabus? Okay, you can see that. Even you have got the syllabus, later on you can see by yourself, but just I want to show you that this is paper 1, psychology of learning and development. Okay, you can see that guys, in every paper there are 4 sections, means 4 unit. This is unit 1. You can see in a unit 1, concept of educational psychology, relationship of education and psychology, meaning and concept of educational psychology, scope of education psychology, right? Under unit 1, second chapter is concept and growth of development, right? So all the development, growth and development, and all the social, physical, emotional and intellectual development of adolescent. Okay, we have to discuss. It is a very easy one. Even if you remember, you have done some of the part in B.Ed also. Okay, and unit 2 is first topic is individual differences, right? And then personality, right? In a unit 3, again in a unit 3 there are 2 chapters. One is intelligence and one is learning, right? And unit 4th last, Hull reinforcement theory and motivation, right? This is a psychology paper, paper 1, right guys? So today we will discuss the 2 topic. I have told you, one we will discuss educational psychology, right? And one we will discuss the education. Okay, and this is the second paper, history and political economy of educations, right? So it is talking about the education, right? So this paper we will start after finishing of paper 1 and paper 3. So this is a paper 3, educational study, right? So it is talking about nature of education. Okay, so this first topic and first topic of psychology paper, yani ki paper 1, I am going to study, right? And this is your 4th paper, introductions to research method. Okay, you also have the copy of this, I have already sent. So later on you can see the syllabus also, right guys? So in a research, first of all, educational research we'll talk, okay, when we will start. Then formulations of research problem. Then unit 2 में hypothesis and sampling, right? Unit 3 में descriptive method, NPC, and unit 4 में skewness and non-parametric statistics. Don't worry guys, okay, it is a easy one, right? I have the notes, I have the PDF files. Okay, we will send you the notes also. Even with the help of a video lectures, I will understand you each and everything. Okay, no need to worry about the syllabus, it will finish soon. And you will also get the time of the revisions also, right? Your first semester exam mostly like to happen in the month of February, January and or February, right? So you have the 5 months to prepare, right? So now I'm going to close the syllabus and I'm coming back to our slide. Okay, so this was the pattern of M.Ed classes. In a paper 1 we will start, and paper 3, paper 1 and paper 3 will go simultaneously, right? Because in every week I'll cover the 2 topics, right? From one from paper 1 and paper 3, right guys? So I'm going to start the first topic of paper 3, education. right? So guys, under this topic, we will cover what is the meaning and definitions of education. Then we'll talk about the characteristics or nature of education. Then we'll talk about the types of education. Then some of the identical terms, synonyms to education. Sometimes now what happens, we call that, teaching is a education, instruction is a education, but they are not the education. Okay. These are called the synonym terms or identical terms. Okay. Under this chapter, we will come to know that what is the difference between these two, right? And last is we'll talk about the scope of education, right, guys? So guys, we start with the education. What do you mean by the education? Okay, although you have done this topic in B.Ed also, I will go swiftly of this topic, right? Education, as you know that, it is never ending process of one's inner growth and development. It is as old as the human race. Guys, it is the education by which we get civilized, we get cultured, we behave properly. This is the education. Even John Dewey, if you know that, he has written a one book. John Dewey was a pragmatist person. He has written a book, Education and Experience, in 1937. He has written all the all the experiences which we get from birth till death. This is all education, right? And this is all experience as well as it is a education. So guys, in fact, the entire life is an education from birth till death. We learn each and everything. And each and every moment we learn. Okay. You cannot, what I want to say you cannot confine the education between the four walls. You cannot say that. If you are running a school, you cannot say that it is a only criteria to get educated. There is a lot of other method. Because if you say that once the person comes in the school and get educated, so then please tell me 150 years before, there was no school in India, right? But on that time, person were educated, right? So education goes from cradle to grave, as you see in the picture. It starts from the birth and goes till death, okay? So guys, there are three words of education. You are going to become a teacher, principals. You should know that, guys. What is the meaning of education? Even you are doing the M.Ed. The full form of M.Ed is Master of Education. You have done the B.Ed. The full form of B.Ed is Bachelor of Education. You should know each and every thing related with the education. Where the word has derived, what is the meaning of that word, who were the educationists that has worked in the field of the education. You are going to become a principal. Who is a principal? Principal is the administrator. You know that when any of the school that advertises the post, he writes that there is a need of a one administrator lying vacant in this school. So guys, you have to less you teach, but more you have to manage, more you have to administer, and you have to take care of all things. You have to manage all things. Unless or until you are not aware of these all the term, you cannot take the work from your teachers. You cannot handle the IC members. You cannot participate for the growth and development of the school also, right? Once if you are not clear of this, this is the reason government has done the mandatory for as a B.Ed or M.Ed to become a teacher and the principals, right? You can see then according to the new education policy. So education is derived from the three word. One is eduseer, one is educare, second is eduseer, and third is educatum, right? So educare, ye Latin words hain. These three are the Latin words from where the word education has derived. The meaning of educare is to nourish up. The way mother nourishes her child, right? Similarly, guys, you have to nourish your child, your student, right? You have to make them educated. You have to nourish like these are your, son and daughters. Eduseer, second word. The meaning of eduseer is to draw out. Always remember one thing, the meaning of education or the meaning of teaching It does not mean getting the material from the book and pouring into the mind of the student. This is not an education. Guys, when the baby born, he comes with so many powers, right? But they are in the not in the, you can say, manifest form, right? Being teacher, you have to draw out these powers from the mind of the student. You have to teach like that. You have to make example. You have to make ideal person, right? Student will learn automatically by motivating from your words, from your actions, right? So here eduseer tells us the meaning of education is not to pouring the content matter into the mind of student. The meaning of education is that we have to draw out the content matter from the mind of the student. Okay, don't think ever the student doesn't know anything. He knows each and everything. Swami Vivekananda has said a one definition. Swami Vivekananda has said that education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in a man, right? And the last word is educatum. Educating means the act of teaching or training, right? So now we discuss some of the definitions of educations. Okay, first, Rig Veda. Guys, Rig Veda has said that education is something which makes a man self-reliant and selfless. Upanishad has said that education is that whose end product is salvation, mukti prapat karna, right? As Gandhiji has said that, right? Swami Vivekananda, education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in a man and child. Now please tell me, okay, Malav, we think that we are giving training to the student, we are making educated to the student, okay, we are making literate to the student, okay, but Swami Vivekananda has said that they have already know each and everything. So here, what we learn under a B.Ed or M.Ed, we learn that teaching methodology course. These are all the teaching methodology topics. You come to learn here that these all things you have to draw from the mind of the student, right? You become the cause. Teacher and principal becomes the cause for the student to learn, right, guys? So child-centered education you have to provide. You have to work according to the need, interest, aptitude, attitude of the child, right? And you have seen that those organizations are working, they are getting success. And Mahatma Gandhi has said that by education I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man's body, mind and spirit, right? Means child and man's body, physical development, mind, spiritual development. Mind means intellectual development and spirit means spiritual development. So Gandhiji focused on the such kind of a development according to the meaning of education said by the Gandhiji, right, guys? So next we discuss little bit nature characteristics of educations, by which we will come to know about the education in a more clear way, right, guys? So first of all, education is a lifelong process, right? This is the nature of education. Okay, first we read all the point. Lifelong process. Education is a lifelong process. Education is a continuous process. Education is a bipolar process. Education is a tripolar process. Education is a multipolar process. Education is a sociological process. Education is a process of individual adjustment. Education is a theoretical as well as practical. Education is a science as well as art. And end mein, education is a child-centered process. Actually, this point should be the number one point. Education is a child-centered process, right? So guys, we understand in a little one or two lines mein, what is the meaning of these. Okay, lifelong process. Education, guys, I have when I started the lecture, I have told you that education is a lifelong process. Okay, one person asked when education starts and when ends. Okay, the answer he got it starts from birth till death. It starts from cradle to grave. Means आदमी मर जाता है. Education never stops. Right? Guys, if you are a good teacher, if you are a good principal, you have to become a learner, not the teacher. As the Rabindranath Tagore has said, only that lamp, a lamp can light to another lamp if it burns its own flame. It means a teacher should be a learner first. Okay. Learning is a, never ending process. Every day, every time you have to, out of a 24 hours, you have to give at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours to your study, because your profession is a teacher and principal. Right? If you have seen the singer, right? Okay, singer every day he practices. One singer has said that if I, leave the practice, okay, for a 1 month, okay, my audience tells us, right? If I leave the practice for a, 10 days, my, family member, tells us, okay, malab, you are not on that level. Okay. If I leave the practice for a 1 day, I say to myself, I'm not on that way. Okay. So being of a teacher and principal, we know that this is our profession. So guys, at least 1.5 hour every day we have to do, study, because there is a lot of things are coming in the field of education. Okay. If I ask the questions from you, okay, I don't think that you would be able to give the answer, right? For example, new education policy has come. Who made the new education policy? Can you tell me the structure of education policy? My third question is that, can you tell me the who developed the project method? Can you define the, what are the teaching models? Okay. So there is a lot of things. So only it has come in your mind when you give the study, right? Because I know why. Because every day, guys, although I have done the PhD, but every day I'm, nourishing ourselves. I'm working on myself. Okay. Only this is the only thing, that the more you will practice, the more you will learn. So each and everything would be on your finger, right? There is a no key to success. The key to success is you have to come into the routine, nothing else, right? So continuous process, it is a always, है ना? Lifelong process, continuous process, it is always. मतलब it is not a static process, right, guys? It is a continuous process. Means dynamic process है ये education. Okay. Education is a bipolar process. Bipolar means it is a between, on the one pole is a teacher, another pole is a student. Okay. And third is a tripolar process. Tripolar means the teacher, the student, and third is, society. Tripolar process wants to say that the teacher has to teach to the student in the light of the society. Multipolar process, you have seen that during the corona, there was, lot of channels by which online things you can get the educations, right, guys? And sociological process, guys, education is a sociological process. Education goes according to the society, right? Process of individual adjustment. Yes, you have to, you make the student to adjust, in the education process. Theoretical as well as practical. It is a theoretical as well as practical also, right? Because when we do the education, it becomes our philosophy. We develop any of the philosophy, and when we apply that philosophy, then on that time it becomes a practical. It is a science as well as an art. What is the meaning of a science? Science means systematic step. So education is a systematic step as well as it is a art. Teacher is an artist who molds his material, means student, into his studio, means school, right? So teacher is an artist. And child-centered process. This point is the most important point. Child-centered process hai education. Today, after the 75 years, we have come to know that now we are going according to the child-centered, because our new education policy 2020 says that. You have seen that na, about the 2020 policies. According to the new education policy, when any of the baby gets the admission in the school, in the starting 1 to 2 years, there is a no examination. He would be promoted by playing method. Matlab he is playing and teacher is helping the student. There is a no exam of first class and second class. Okay, when we'll discuss about the new education policy, then I will explain in a detailed way, right guys? So these are the nature and characteristics of the education. Then again, this is the types of education. Okay, so education is of the three type. One is formal education, second is non-formal, third keh lo informal hai. Okay, here on the slide it is written informal. Informal I will discuss on the third part. Okay, first consider as a formal education, second is non-formal education, third is informal education. Guys, what is formal education? I give you the answer in a one line. When education is given between the four walls, means school and colleges, it is called the formal education. Got it? And what happens in the formal education? There is a fixed curriculum, fixed syllabus, fixed timetable, right? And fixed examinations on that time. Second aa gaya non-formal education. Non-formal education is a kind of a correspondence education, right? So it is a little bit flexible than the formal education, because in the correspondence we get the notes. There is no need to every day go to the school and attend the classes up to the evening. Okay, and third is a informal education. This is the most important. Informal education means student or a person doesn't go anywhere. Neither he goes to the university nor he goes to the school. Okay, means he was get trained by some of the elder members, some of the friend circle, and from the parents. Okay, so when he gets educated, so such kind of a education is called the informal education. I have I'm remembering one definition said by the Gandhiji. Gandhiji has said that an illiterate wife can be more educated than a literate wife, right? So how even she doesn't go to the school or a colleges, okay, but she is educated, she has got such kind of a education through elders, right? So informal education is a such kind of a education by which person gets the knowledge from any of the source. This is called the informal education, right? You must remember, ye questions aa jata hota hai, right? Long question. So this is written formal, non-formal, and informal. Hai na? You can see that. Formal usually at school, non-formal institution out of a school, informal means everywhere, right? Number one. Number second, formal education is structured, non-formal structured, informal unstructured, because anywhere na, he or she can get the knowledge, right? Third is a usually pre-arranged, non-formal usually pre-arranged, ye voluntary hoti hai, informal educations, right? So for under the formal education, fourth point is learning is evaluated compulsory, Hana? Unless if you don't give the exams, you don't get the degree diploma in a school, right? So exam dena compulsory hoti hai. Under a non-formal education, sometimes it is a semi-structured type, right? Malab exams, sometimes practical, okay. But in formal educations mein, there is no examinations. And for last is formal education is a sequential, non-formal is a typical non-sequential, informal is a non-sequential, right? Okay, guys. Then we move to the some of the identical terms, just synonyms of education. Okay. Sometimes now we get confused. Sometimes we say that instruction is education, training is an education, schooling is an education, teaching is an education, indoctrination is an education, literacy in education. But guys, these terms are not full-fledged education. They are the part of education, right? Instruction means instruction is given by any of the instructor, right? For example, computer instructor. So when computer instructor give the instruction, so we get trained in computer. We cannot say that if we are an educated person, right? If one person has trained in the computer, but it doesn't mean he is an educated person. So instruction jo hai, it is not education. It can be the part of education, right guys? Second is training. So similarly, training is given by some trainer, and trainer would be a qualified expert in one or two field, right? But education is a long process. We have just discussed. Okay, it goes from birth to death. Okay, it is a very comprehensive term, right? So training bhi nahi hai. Next again, schooling. How the schooling is not an education? Because guys, schooling may what happens after the class of a 10th or plus 2, okay, student leaves the school, okay, but it does not mean that his education has stopped, right? So persons learn every moment in the life from beginning to end, right? Schooling, no doubt, it can be comprehensive term than instruction and training, but it is again, it is not a, full-fledged education, right? Similarly, teaching may what happens, the teacher comes in the class and teach in a particular period in a particular subject, the person gets trained in the particular subject, right? But this is not our meaning. This is not our, our aim of education. What is our aim of education? Can you tell me? Our aim of education is that we have to develop the personality of the child fully and freely, complete personality, holistic personality, right? Means child should be physically developed, child should be sociology developed, child should be intellectually developed, child should be spiritually developed, child should be ethically developed. So all round development is the aim of today's education, guys, right? And do you think that instruction, training and schooling, we say that we provide all the things? Schooling, it is only a 70 or 18 years, okay, but persons learns from till death, right? So schooling can be a bigger term than instruction, training, but not the like full-fledged education. Similarly, teaching. Second last is indoctrination. Indoctrination means hota hai, a particular giving the knowledge of a particular one thing, okay? When we, brainwash of the student and, provide some of the, bad element into the mind of the student. This is a kind of indoctrination. It is again not a education. Last again, literacy. Okay, I ask from you one question. Okay, can you tell me, are you a literate or a educated? You have done the B.Ed. Am I right? Naturally, you have done the B.Ed. That's why you are in the M.Ed class. Can you tell me, are you a literate or are you a educated? So guys, literacy, try to understand here. Literacy here is not an education. Okay. What is the meaning of a literacy? Literacy means how to read and write. This is a literacy. And educated means how you behave into the society. This is called the educated, you can say the characteristics of the education. The person one is educated, okay, he can well behave in the society, although he is not literate, as the Gandhiji has said that an illiterate persons can be more educated than a literate person, right? So education literacy ki मोहताज नहीं है, right? Okay, so literacy be, it can be a part of the educations but not the educations. Okay, so you have to understand education is a very, very, very big comprehensive term. Even your all the M.Ed syllabus comes under the education, your B.Ed syllabus, even all the things comes under the education. It is a big part. That's why guys, okay, in a B.Ed or M.Ed you learn the education topics. Okay, it is not a new topics. These are the general topics. Okay, in a B.Ed or M.Ed you learn how to teach to the student. You learn the philosophy, psychology, teaching learning process. Then you are able to know that this is a teaching. Teaching does not mean getting the material from the book and pouring into the mind of the student. Teaching means, education means you have to understand the mind of the student and you have to go according to the mind of the student. This is the real meaning of education, and you become trained only once you get educated, right guys? So these are the identical terms and synonyms of education. And last is the scope of education. So scope of education: education philosophy, education psychology, history, education sociology. Number 5th, educational guidance. Number 6, philosophy of education, teaching method, educational problems, curriculum, educational administration, and supervision. So these all 10 points are basically 10 full-fledged chapters, right, guys? Which we have to learn in our entire M.Ed course, right? So, but these all things come under the scope of education, as I have told in the previous slide. The purpose, the meaning, education is a comprehensive term, right, guys? So I hope you have come to learn the meaning of education, right? Number one. Number second, the three word of education: educare, eduseer, and educatum. Number third, we discuss the nature and characteristics of education, right? Like education is a lifelong process, continuous process, bipolar process, multipolar process, tripolar process, process of individual adjustment, sociological process. Education is a theoretical as well as practical. And last, education is a science and art. And last, education is a child-centered process, right? Then we discuss the types of education. Okay, you have come to know that formal education, non-formal, and informal education, three types of education. And then we talked about the synonyms or identical terms of educations like literacy, teaching, schooling, indoctrinations, literacy, right? And last, we have got the meaning of scope of education, which will cover in the coming chapters, right, guys? So thank you so much, guys, for today's lecture. So this lecture and notes of the lectures we will send you, okay, before starting the next topic. Okay, so 5 minutes I just want to give you. If you want to discuss, okay, you can discuss with me. So I'm first of all I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you so much, guys.